All right. Thank you for joining us with Deadly Horizons. New name change. Feels good. I like it. Used to be
It's catchy.
Der Jeff show, right?
Yep.
And of course, we have lovely host joining us. I forgot your name. What's your name?
My name,
Yeah.
Sharon.
I know. I'm just kidding. I know your
Shazza.
name. And we're joined by William Harder. Do you go by William? I know you have a nickname. I'm not sure if you go by that on public.
Well, no, I go by William. That's
William.
me.
That's what we're
All
gonna go
right.
by then. William, how the hell are you? What's going on?
Oh, just evening starting to wind down here. I'm on nephew duty, so I'm dealing with that. I don't have kids. But it takes a village. So when I'm needed, I try to help. So I'm just kind of relaxing, getting ready to take a trip. Going to be flying back east to chase down some stuff, and just another day in paradise, man. Above ground and out of the clink. So we're winning.
Good place to be. And we're watching your background. Are there any stories behind the crosses behind you?
Oh man, I get them. I like going to cathedrals. Like I really like architecture, and when you go to when you're traveling in Europe, a lot of the churches and cathedrals, a lot of money was put into, the best of the best was used to make those buildings, and there's usually a really dark history that surrounds them. So it kind of doubles as usually there's like a lot of excommunications and, the people that were tortured and the people that were forced to build them, like this, there's that whole history. So, I just like to, I've just always loved collecting them. I see it as very dark imagery because the history of Judeo-Christianity is, there's some, some good points that came out of it over the times, but for the most part, it's not good. So it's just a thing to collect.
Way super dark. Yeah, it's not just going to getting your Sunday best on and going to church on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
You go to church and then it's you drag out the town whore or the gal who wouldn't sleep with the bishop's brother, and then you tie him up and you burn him, and everybody cheers, yay for Jesus.
Yeah.
So I just like collecting them, and I like going to cathedrals, and a lot of them they're from all over.
They have a great significance. I'm not a churchgoer myself, but I love cathedrals like you're mentioning. Like I'd be a great Catholic as long as I don't have to do all the up and downs and the feeling, hating myself kind of shit. I think churches I love the smell of the burning candles inside
Don't
of
the Catholics punish themselves when they're told 9 Hail Marys and
Well, it's not. I don't think it's that extreme today. It used to be a much more interesting belief system. Now it's just if you got enough money, they'll pretty much you're going to you just pay your way into heaven. That's what all the rich folks did back in the day. You just have to give enough money to make your house square with the Lord.
It's fun to mingle. Last time I took my kids 5 years ago to a Catholic church and they were doing communion, and I have like no idea how this shit works. So I see everybody standing in line. And I'm like, okay, I stand in line because everyone's getting a little bit of wine and some crackers. I'm like, fuck, it's snack time.
That's a no-no.
It was a huge no-no.
Man, you can't be doing that unless you've gone through communion.
No, I always go through communion. And the guy looked at me and goes, "You're supposed to bow down." And I'm like, "Why?" Do I get my cracker
it's part of you have to go through your you got to get your first communion. You got to go through all the steps of
That's interesting to know.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, there's you don't just go in and you got to put in the work.
You got to put in the work. And I was trying to speed up the process.
No crackers in wine if you don't put in the work.
Right.
Nope.
No grape juice.
Yeah, the Mormons, they just do bread and water. They stepped it down. It's not tends to just. I've seen them. They just sometimes will use ripped up bread, just shredded up. Just like a loaf of bread that you get at the store. Nothing fancy like the Catholics do.
No.
Although growing up, my mother used to make the communion wafers at times whenever they just, for some reason, they didn't have the little discs. They would have to actually, make little pieces of bread. So I remember my mom every now and again would be baking them up, and we could eat them before they were blessed because they were just bread at that point. But then when they become, gosh, what is it? I forget there's a name for the.
Like confection.
Oh gosh, man! When it becomes the Eucharist, I can't remember what it's called. Haven't thought about this in a while. There's a word for it. The mystery of the water and wine, and there's the whole procedure of it becoming the body and blood of Christ is called something. It escapes me. So
no, hey, I don't want to put you on the spot. That was still pretty informative, man. That's cool.
Yeah. It's more information than I know.
Oh, yeah. And you do have a spiritual side to yourself, right? Do you have any affinities of anything, or?
I mean, lately I've really been digging the Pastafarians. They're a happy bunch. I mean, there's I don't think I'll ever sign on to theistic belief in, I'm not, I don't believe I'm going to be judged. I don't believe I'm going to be going to some sort of intangible paradise or eternal punishment. I'm very secular and science based. So I mean that, and I growing up, and I was really drawn to Satanism, LaVeyan Satanism, though the atheist philosophy, because it was it's flashy and it embraces earthly pleasure and worldly pursuits.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten a little bit older, I mean, I see it as being a little bit selfish, and the Pastafarians tend to really go, they tend to be more like just a happier bunch of folks. And don't get me wrong, I know plenty of Satanists that are smiling, but some of those guys just seem upset. And I've been digging the Pastafarian thing. A little spaghetti strainer.
Yeah. I think everyone is correct in their beliefs, and to me personally, I just think it's one big energy. I think we come from something, and Chat GPT apparently is saying that we're coming from aliens, and there's Planet X that we're coming from. I don't know if it's the Sumerians, but we're supposed to be a training to go back to some type of war. This is some.
And that's what AI says.
Yeah. That Chat GPT apparently is like we're
the idea that everybody is right is wrong. Like it can't. I mean, and again, I keep mentioning my mother. She would agree that she says my God has many mansions, many rooms in his mansion, or whatever the phrase was. In my mansion there are many rooms. Like, so she believes that there'll be certain amount of good people from all faiths that will be saved. Unfortunately, that's not what the book says. I mean, if somebody, according to most of the major world religions, everybody else is wrong except for them. And I just, when that's a premise of your belief, I don't think that's the right way to go, because it's a very exclusionary. And if there was a God, I would think it would want to bring us all together.
Yeah, not separate us. Exactly.
Like the flying spaghetti monster who says that you don't have to argue about me existing or not existing to folks. I don't need it. It's not worth bringing about that sort of negative energy. And I was like, no, if there was a God, that's what he'd say. Or what she'd say. She'd be like, who cares, man? Just be kind. And most of the religions don't say that. They say just the opposite. They say to kill the people that don't believe like you. They say they say
people.
Yeah, man, to kill everything. I mean, most of these gods they want blood sacrifices, or they're sacrificing their children to save mankind, which to me just makes, I don't know, man. That just seems violent and
the negative
unnecessary,
parts.
And I just see it as for what it is, man. It's an invention of man, and it's not. I don't think it's a good one. It served plenty of a lot of purposes. Religion, it united tribes. It centralized Europe. It centralized Asia. It made them world powers. If it wasn't for Judeo-Christianity, they might still just be, very tribal and fighting in Europe, but they were united under the Catholic Church. Ideas were able to flow. So to say that nothing good has come from religion would be a silly thing to say, because plenty of good things, and it gives comfort, and an understanding of things that you might not be able to grapple with or understand. So I know that it serves a purpose, but it still is just, I think it's not anything that it's exclusionary or promotes a sort of like to kill those that I'm just not with that. Life's too short to be angry or want to hurt things.
No, I agree. Yeah. For me, it's more of the positive aspects of where we all can be correct of how you feel can happen maybe with yourself, which it could be a dream realm where if you're going to 1,000 virgins, maybe that's where you're going to go. Doesn't mean that they're really they're virgins, right?
I mean, whenever people talk about, nirvana or heaven or whatever it is, like, oh, that sounds nice. What a comforting thing. That'd be great, especially if your life was very hard and miserable. It would be nice to have something to look forward to in death, because life used to not be as comfortable as it is today. Like, it used to be very tough. Like, even the poorest people now in America live better than the richest people, what is it, 100 years ago or 200 years ago did? Like, there's been that much progression. So when you have those things to look forward to, I get it, and Nietzsche said it best: when your life is very repetitive or uneventful, it's easy to become religious and to look and to lean on that, because your life doesn't provide any enjoyment and is rather miserable. I'm not saying that's all people that have religion are, have uneventful lives and are miserable, but it's easy for people to fall into that when that's the type of lifestyle they live. I guess
that's why lots of incarcerated people turn to religion.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because of the comfort and something to look forward to.
Repetitious. It's it's very mundane and monotonous, and it's very easy because that gives you hope outside of yourself, because you are helpless to the powers that be that hold you in prison.
Yeah,
and it's also people tend to not. If you're really following the Bible and being a Christian, people tend to not victimize you as much. They often, Christian inmates get a pass, so it's very easy for weak folks to cling to that as a safety net, because most people don't want to hurt Christian people, even in prison, because even the meanies believe in God.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. On that note, so you're going to take a trip here, and it's a buying trip. Now, your website's themurderauction.com. Is that right?
That is the largest true crime auction house on the planet.
I love it. That's where I do a lot of price checking for things. See whose items are out there.
What's funny, man, is I noticed people at one point in one of the groups were selling something, and they were using the Murder Auction website as like a price comparison, and I was kind of like, oh, man, look at that trend setting, setting the prices. Because things are only worth what people are going to pay, and with Murder Auction, it's real easy to figure it out, because if let's say you got a Ramirez letter, I got a Ramirez letter, and Sharon has a Ramirez letter, and we're all trying to sell them, and we can figure out by who lists the cheapest and who lists the highest, and then watch them sell. We can kind of start figuring out, that one for $500 didn't sell quickly. Oh, that one for $125 did. Well, okay, I'm going to put mine up for $175. It sells fast, and we start trying to find that happy medium. Yeah. So it's a much more realistic way, and it's competitive. People underprice me all the time, and it's like I always think to myself, I'm paying the fucking bills here, and this guy's cutting my balls off. I'm gonna have to, but I'm not. I've always felt like I'm going to do this the long haul. Like I'll be doing this till I'm old and gray. So I'm not in any big hurry. I mean, I'm getting close to old and gray, but I'm not quite there yet. So I still got some time to,
Oh, you got a long time.
No, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. No, it's a great site. I do enjoy it. I don't sell things myself, although I'm going to help a few inmates here for their family sell some items pretty soon. So that's why it's a great source. It makes me think of back in the day when if you're collecting postcards, there's or baseball cards. You can have a manual. We need like a true crime manual, but it have to be yearly though, because that shit changes. Like you said,
like a Beckett.
Yeah, like a Beckett, but or it could be
quarterly. I mean, death
changes.
factors in. When people die, there's also folks that just didn't write a lot. Another thing is like when Netflix makes its new documentary, or Hulu drops its new. I mean, that really. When I remember when that Ramirez documentary dropped, holy smokes, I'd never seen anything like that. I mean, all of a sudden, all the Ramirez stuff was sold out. So I relisted it all, and it all sold out again. So I started raising the price, and I was like, holy smokes, people are buying all this. I mean, I mean, and it happened fast. That documentary came out, the one that Netflix did, which was a really good documentary. I hate crime documentaries. They tend to be written from the based on the prosecution theory. It has a lot of, like interview stuff with cops and judges and prosecutors, and all that's fine and dandy, but that's not realistic. That's just, making these, people out to be these boogeymen that they're really not. Not to excuse, obviously people that commit heinous crimes are not, great folks, so to speak, but you can't. I hate when they try to sensationalize it. Like a documentary doesn't need to be a movie. Just keep it real and keep it, like just try to find the truth. Like the one they did about Chris Watts, I thought was amazing. I didn't like that they left because his wife was really controlling, and they left a lot of that out, trying to really demonize him. But they used all text messaging, all the police and I thought that was really well done. I think they could have put a few more of the fights they got in, but because there was another documentary that focused more on that, and I thought, I was like, well, it still was good because it was very realistic. It was very matter of fact.
The one on Netflix, you mean?
The one was it the making a murderer, or what is it? The Chris Watts story, The Killer Next Door.
It's a good one.
I remember when I watched that, I thought they did a really good job. I just remember his wife being not to say, I mean, not that she deserved to be killed. That's not what I'm driving at. But and it's not what I'm driving at. But she used to they used to fight a lot, and she was very
belittling,
bossy and controlling. And they left. It wasn't again. That doesn't excuse what he did, even in the slightest. But I didn't like that they left that out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I get it. They're not trying to make her look bad. They're trying to, make, I don't like when they sensationalize cases. It's like, you don't have to sensationalize it. If it's, the facts should be interesting enough, which is why I don't watch, like people are like, oh, did you watch this? And I'm like, no, man, I'm not, give me a break. No, I'm not gonna. I'll wait for them to call. If people are like, "Oh, this new Manson documentary is coming out," I was like, "Yeah, it's great, dude. I used to talk to him every day. I'm not gonna. I don't care what people think now. I got to ask him the stuff I wanted to talk about. Like I didn't have to watch a documentary."
Yeah, I'm about 3 years too late on that one, unfortunately. So I have to live through everyone's phone calls, which is quite a bit.
Right. I've got about 100 hours worth of phone calls that I haven't done anything with yet. They're just
someday, maybe. What do you think?
Someday. Oh no, I mean, my goal is not to die with any of this stuff. I'm either going to have a museum, or it'll all be sold. What'll probably end up happening is I'll die in a car accident driving home from a concert at 4 a.m. And oh yeah, man, my poor family trying to figure out what to do with all this junk.
Oh, they did that. They'd have to have someone who would you trust to come in to help them appraise everything and to get it out.
Well, there's if I died, my family knows who. There's a person to handle the rock and roll stuff, and then a person to handle the crime stuff. Yeah, there's a whole other collection that people don't get to see. Like I have so much music memorabilia, and I've been meaning to. I just opened up an Instagram account a while back, and I haven't posted anything on it yet. And I think I'm just going to make it music related and have it actually be a public page that anybody can sign up to. Just because I know they don't like any sort of quote unquote crime glorification, which I get it, So rather than try to post a Gacy painting or Manson string dolls, I'm just going to make it all rock and roll stuff because I've got so much of that. Like, and a lot of it's really cool, and I don't really get to share it that much. So I want, because there's more to being a collector. I don't just collect crime stuff. Like, I mean, as you can see, there's fucking shit everywhere. I mean, you can't even, there's so much shit in this house and in the storage across town and in the storage in my backyard. And like, yeah.
You're the collector of collecting,
I was collecting, stickers and shark's teeth when I was 5. I still have all my stuffed animals, from when I grew up. Yeah, man, I love it.
Yeah, not many people can see that.
You're the king of collectors.
No, I'm a collector. Like, if it wasn't this, it'd be something else. Like, I'd be collecting porcelain frogs. I mean, when I drank, I collected shot glasses. Everywhere we went, we bought shot glasses. And then I quit drinking, and we switched over to the travel spoons. So now I've got, everywhere I go, I buy a magnet and a travel spoon. We've been buying magnets for, ever since. I mean, I've got, my refrigerator is just solid. In fact, when we move, my goal is to get this big. I'm to buy a big piece of flat steel, and I'm just gonna like you'd find in a gift shop, and I'm just gonna start putting magnets.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like on this one section of wall is just gonna be one big cut piece of steel, which I can put magnets on. Like you'd find, like I said, I saw them in one of the souvenir shops. They had walls, and they were solid magnets, and I was like, shit, man. Just do that, and then we can put all the wall of patches. There's no room. Yeah. There's no room. What was that?
You should also do a wall of patches, like band patches. You can, like, if you go to a music shop.
I don't collect band patches only because, like, I'm not a battle vest guy. I mean, when I was a kid, I had a denim jacket that was all patched up. I still have it. I'm just not the band stuff that I collect. I make drum heads. Like I make drum heads to get. In fact, there might be one behind the couch here. No, there's not one back here. I like making drum heads, and I like getting 7 inches signed, like the actual, like just vinyl records. I haven't signed the. I've just been doing. Whenever I catch guitar picks, or if I can buy a guitar pick at the show from the merch table, but then I come home and I'll put the pick in a bag and I'll label it. Either I caught it or I bought it, and or if they gave it to, or if the band member gave it to me directly after the show. Like there's stage used, which is one that's thrown off the stage or handed to me directly from the stage. Then there's getting one handed to you after the show, and then there's buying one from the merch table. But I don't like going online and buying them. The other thing I like getting is set lists. I've got. Yeah, man, my set list collection is pretty impressive. I'm actually
dude, your
one day I'll start sharing all this. What was that?
So your whole collection is pretty impressive, and I want to ask. I know. So if you're going to a smaller venue, usually the band comes out and hangs out with people, but you seem to meet some pretty big bands. Is it something just because you're friends with them, or somebody that knows them, or they're just coming down and meeting the crowd, and you're just there?
I mean, if I like a band, I'll go see them all the time. Like every time they come through, and I always, I like buying the knickknacks, the junk. If they have something special at the merch table, I mean, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Like I remember I saw Balfagor not that long ago, and they had this stretched canvas that came with the CD. Came with 2 picks. It came with a bone that they'd drawn on. It was $150. I was like, well, shit, man, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
And then I went and got it signed. Talked to some of the guys about Ostrix. I was just there like 2 years before, so we were talking about places that they've done shows, and if they come back, they'll probably remember some of the chit chat that I had. Because I'm personable, and I'm. When I like a band, I'll tell them, "Hey, man, thanks so much. I listen to your music, more than you know, and I really enjoy it." So it's
all the photos,
some of it's from developing friendships, and some of it's just from being there all the time. And I've gotten I've gotten good at it, you know. And then when you bring cool stuff to get signed, like I've come into shows and all of a sudden pulled out machetes to get signed inside clubs, and I had to get that in here, and it's like, man, I'm glad you noticed, because it's not fucking easy to get a bone saw or a machete or a saw blade. You know, you can't get. They don't just let me bring them in.
Oh, I don't think so,
you
man.
Got to figure out how to. So it becomes a whole to do, and I love it.
Yeah. How do you get those passed? I mean, is it a trade secret we can't talk about?
The machetes I did, I knew the club owner and I knew the security, and then I talked to them beforehand, and they brought them in early. And then after the show, they let me get them, and I took them around to get the band to sign them.
And they don't need to know that. And he said, dude, I snuck it down the back. I'm just that good. They don't know I'm packing.
Oh, I mean, we're walking around with these fucking, they were real. They were real machetes, like fucking, like I could have just started, And I remember we brought these saw blades in once, and I was thinking to myself, dude, we could just throw these, and they would just start, really hurting folks. But of course I didn't. The amount, I mean, they had stickers on them, and like we painted them, and we put like band logos. It was for a Worm Rock concert. We did these, circular saws, dude, and they came out great. We had them signed in white. They look so good. And again, when I get the Instagram page going, it'll be fun, because I'm going to start, because you can post as much of that stuff as you want, and you won't get kicked off of Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
You'll be safe with the band stuff for sure.
Right.
I feel lucky that my Instagram hasn't been shut down yet, but I try to keep it where you can't really tell what I'm displaying.
Well, the thing is, everybody's always like, "Oh yeah, man, my Instagram got shut down." And I was like, "Dude, if they shut down my Facebook or Instagram, I will never open up one again."
Yeah, I
don't have time for this. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, dude, you got me fucking confused with somebody who plays games. I'm not fucking doing this." I'd be so mad. I'd just be done with it. And the thing is, I would get so much more done if I didn't have it. It's almost like I got locked out of my Facebook for like 3 weeks. They wanted me to do that 2-step authentication, and I was like, God damn! And I couldn't figure it out. So I said, you know what? And then for 3 weeks, I didn't have Facebook. The problem was it wouldn't Messenger deactivated, and I kind of needed the Messenger account. Like I couldn't function without that. Like that's become integral to talk to people, because so many people use it. But outside of not having Messenger, I was like, oh yeah, dude. I wasn't death scrolling. I wasn't watching reels. I was getting stuff done. I mean, it would probably be a blessing in disguise, but I'm trying to make it to where I'm not trying to like get anybody mad, or offended. I don't want, my Instagram page to blow up because I'm putting my Menendez brothers doors, and they're like, hey, you're glorifying the fact that they murdered no, that's not what I'm doing. But, it would piss somebody off, and,
Well, now that you mentioned the doors, how are those going?
They are sitting in my storage across town.
Are you going to use them for something?
A part of me has thought about, because I also got the door, there's a door frame I got that came with the door. It's it would be the door when you first walked in the house. It'd be the room on the left. They made it the billiard room because it was all wooden, and there was like a glass windows in the house that looked into that room, but they were like frosted or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In any event, I was able to get that full frame out, and a part of me was thinking, well, man, we buy a new house, we can put this in, but then whoever moved in would just tear it out and throw it away.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't look natural wherever it was. So it has to go in a museum. Like I don't want this stuff to get thrown away. It wasn't particularly easy to get. Like the shortened version is as I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy whose dad was doing the remodeling.
That's cool.
Wow, that's
and that's
were they just going to be kind of scrapped and like this? We just want someone to take this away. They didn't know quite what they had. They had
no, they knew. They knew what they had.
Yeah, I would be surprised. They
oh yeah, and no, they didn't just give it away. I promise.
Well, I was going to say, yeah.
The
magic question is,
it was very expensive.
Okay, fair enough.
It was very expensive.
I gotcha.
Yeah, they didn't just give that away. I'm sure what I didn't buy just got thrown out. I think there was another person who was coming, a contractor who was just buying the parts. Puppy, stop it. There was I think a contractor who was coming and buying the stuff for to use in remodels. And so somebody, unbeknownst to them, is going to get a door that was in the Menendez house.
Yeah.
That's what happens to a lot of it. It just ends up like the Jane's Mansfield gates, right? I think someone bought that property. They finally took down the wall. I don't know if you know the pink palace or pink mansion that she had. They took down her Jane Mansfield.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they took down her gates, and I think someone's just using it in their house. Not necessarily a fan or just a collector. They like them. You know, we just think they should go back to her daughter or a museum for others to see. Right.
Yeah, I always think about stuff like it's like they took a lot of stuff out of that house, and I'm pretty sure it went to a person who's just going to use them in remodels and designs that he's doing. And I was just like, man, if these people knew where this stuff was coming from, this is
they wouldn't. A lot of people wouldn't want it in their house. Like, I don't want that in here.
Why is the dishes all of a sudden flying all around the kitchen now? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got both chandeliers. I got a bunch of sconces off the walls. I took old light fixtures out. I grabbed all sorts of like I went to the kill room, and when they were doing the remodel there, they're actually taking out doors. They pulled off all the remodel that was done. You got to the original wood, and I started pulling all that, as many pieces and that, off the stuff that was the original frame. I was trying to find like, pellet for, anything like that. Nothing like that. I think they did a good job clearing all that out. But I looked high. Yeah, I looked high and low for anything. But there was a lot of, of the original. I went down into, there's a crawl space there. Tons of stuff, all over the place. And there was like all the the original tiles for the roof. There was a whole stack of them in there. So I was like, oh, I'll take these. And they were.
Here's a stupid question for you.
I'm sitting on all this. I haven't tried to sell any of it yet. Gosh, man, it's like if I sold, let's say I just sold one of the doors because the doors that led into the kill room, those are the cream, the gems. Mm-hmm. If I sold I have one of the kitchen doors, the door that went from the kitchen to the dining room. It was like one of those doors that just was on a swivel. And if I sold that, it would be gone though. And I would be like, oh no, I'm down to, which again, it's a silly way to look at it, but the collector in me just doesn't want to let it go yet. Like, I don't know exactly how the exhibit will be that we make, but I would hate to part with something that could be preserved.
Yeah.
And, people could, when I say enjoy, come and learn from, and people want to see those things, and there's a ghoulish aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that's but people like that. That's part of the people don't go to torture museums not to see the torture. People don't go to crime museums not to see the crime. I mean, and there's a history to it, and there's a lot that goes into that case. It's not just, oh, these kids killed their parent. No, there's a lot of meat to that case that a lot of people aren't, that didn't grow up with it, especially, aren't aware of.
That house was occupied after, though. It hasn't been abandoned all these years, right? It's had.
Oh no! It was sold after.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's sold 3 times or I think this might be the third owner since. It's either the second or third. It might be could for all I know, it's the 4th or 5th. I know that the house sold for a lot of real money, and the person who's buying it is doing it's going to look, really nice when it's all said and done. Like, they're putting an elevator in, like it looks nice. Like, it's I wouldn't have wanted. They changed. They're changing the entire. They're changing it's not going to look the same. It won't be the same house. Like, it's going to be very different. But it's that whole area is just super nice. So yeah, and I don't know how many owners it's had, but it's I I know this is I think the second big remodel / renovation.
I think I'd be more interested on who's the very first owner afterwards, because if you're buying this, unless it's really cheap, you're either really into true crime or into the paranormal. I mean, what a common person, someone that has a lot of money is coming to buy it right after the fact. Why? Right?
I mean, I think initially it was really cheap, or cheaper. I think when it was sold, I remember I think it sold for $3 million, and now it's sold for $19 million in a short amount of time. Because it used to be you could get pretty good deals on what is going on with you, buddy? Hold on, you got to settle down.
What's belly rubs? It's belly rub time.
Yeah. What are you doing? Come on, you're driving me crazy. Oh, dog.
Oh, nope.
Yes, I know, buddy.
Well, it's like the Chris Watts house when we were talking about that. When I first saw the documentary, I was living in Arizona, and then we moved to Colorado, and I'm only about an hour away from there. And I would go there once a month just to cruise on by. And it's been through at least one owner, maybe two. And there's people that live there now. They repainted the front of it. And it's a big ass house. Like seen on TV or even pictures doesn't do it justice. When you're driving down the street, it's right in front of you. And that thing is ominous. It's huge. It's got weird vibes just because you kind of know what may or may have not happened there, right? But people just live there it's another day.
It happened there. He killed his wife in that house.
Oh, yeah. That part for sure.
I'd drive by the Marcus Wesson lot. I mean, I went to it when it was still a house, but we would drive by a lot of friends when they'd come from out of town. They'd want to, see the sights, and that'd be a close one, being in Fresno. So we would go by there. I mean, initially I'd kind of would get little eerie feelings, but now it's just, I can't. I mean, I think the last time I really got an eerie feeling, it was just because I was in the back of the woods in Texas, and I was more worried that somebody would, kill me than anything being haunted. I'm not a big haunted person because that's not real.
Ghosts aren't real?
No.
No.
No ghosts.
No ghosts.
I mean, and this is the thing. I've been wrong before, and I've just, in all my years, never seen anything to lead me to believe that.
Seeing's believing, for sure.
Or even experiencing. Like, I just don't believe in magic, or I don't believe in the soul. I don't believe that there's I don't believe that I'm going to be. I don't think there's an eternal thing in me. I'm going to live, and then I'm going to die, and when I die, I will not exist. Just like it was before I was born.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, and again, I could be wrong, but I just don't. I just
know her to find out.
I don't have faith, because faith to me is wanting to believe that which isn't true. And I mean, because you have to accept things on faith. And it's not to say that I don't have a spiritual side. It's not to say that I don't have like a moral compass, of course, but it's not based on theism or fear of retribution for not doing it. I don't do certain things not because they're wrong, because I don't feel good when I do them. I don't steal because I don't feel good when I steal. I try not to hurt people because it doesn't feel good. Even when you're justified, it doesn't feel good afterwards to me.
Right.
Like I'm never happy that I beat somebody up because they slapped a girl I was with. Like, that doesn't feel good. I went out to the bar once, man. This guy ended up smacking a girl I was with on her thigh. He was just playing around, but yeah, you don't do that. So yeah, man, I had to talk with him about it. That was the last time I went to a bar too. This was again years ago when I was drinking. But when I woke up the next day, I was like, yeah, dude, that to be just put in that whole situation sucked. Everything about it. There was nothing fun. I wasn't happy about it.
Nobody is happy about that situation. Yeah, it doesn't create good feelings.
No, people love hurting people. You wouldn't believe the kind of things I talk about with some of the folks I visit. They love it. There's people who genuinely enjoy. And then there's officers. Back again when I used to drink, I live in a prison town. You'd have officers just going on and on about, mistreating people, and I just sit there and listen to them, like thinking to myself, what the hell's wrong with you? Why would you enjoy doing that to anybody? I just don't understand it.
It's that angry child that they're still carrying. It's at adolescence, right? And sometimes you want to squish a bug, just because you don't have that feeling. But yeah, so,
I think some people just really that's their thing. I mean, there's people that work at slaughterhouses. I mean, you figure they either get so desensitized to it, they just see it as work, or they enjoy what they do. Yeah. It's like when they had the concentration camps going on in Germany. I mean, like you have people that are, they're signing up to be ICE agents. The clips that make the news, those people are enjoying doing that to people.
Yeah.
Like, I would never enjoy hurting people, whether they.
Yeah.
I've never seen a frown on any of those
to me, I
ICE
just don't
faces.
understand it. Like,
who's that actor that wanted to be an ICE agent?
Oh, I
Dean Kane or something? No.
He was.
I don't know.
I forget. One of the late night guys made fun of him. It's I know Mr. Mackey from South Park's gonna give it a go. So we'll see how he makes out being an ICE agent.
He'd be a good one. I can tell he'd like it quite a bit.
Don't do drugs, kids. Okay.
That's it.
So, are there any deceased inmates that you visited that kind of creeped you out or scared you a little bit being in their presence?
I visited a gang member this one time. He's still alive, young fella. He was a real hard man. He wasn't like a spectacular case, gang related homicide, but he was he was definitely a I don't want to say soulless. He was definitely the type of person who kills people. And he was was not welcoming. He wasn't, and I don't know if afraid was the word, but I was like, oh yeah, dude, this guy he's not a nonsense guy. This is this is why we have prisons. Yeah, he was definitely a rough, he was very calm, collected. Yeah, that guy, he robs people and kills them, that was, I remember thinking to myself, how are you here locked in a cage with this man who never gets visits, who's not going to, be worried one bit, by losing visits. He could just decide he wants to kill me.
Yeah.
Was that part of the excitement?
I would have danced with him, but he was, very fit too. So yeah.
A lot of them are young age. So, what did encourage you to want to go see him? Just that that
somebody asked me if I would see him. Like, he didn't get he said he doesn't get any visits. And I remember when I went to see him, and I just remember thinking, yeah, dude, there's a reason this guy doesn't have any visits.
You could see it.
You could just tell he was a bad dude.
Yeah.
Was it just the one time you went and saw him?
Yeah. It didn't, we didn't click at all. Like, it wasn't an enjoy. When I visit folks, like I've been visiting this one guy for over 10 years. We just talked about his case for the first time, like last month. We never discussed it because his case is not interesting. It's just one of those, killed some folks and in a robbery. It was 2 people, and it turns out he didn't even kill him. It was his accomplice. But he's convicted of being the shooter, and so he's got a whole thing coming up with his appeals. And but it was we never discussed it, and he got really emotional talking about it. He's like, it happened so fast, and what was I couldn't necessarily stop my co-defendant from doing it. It just happened real quick, and they came home, and the people they were robbing. And it's just so it's a lot of these cases that are uncelebrated. Like, I'll just, end up visiting a person, like the guy I mentioned before, and this particular person as well. And if I hit it off, I end up riding with him, trying to help him out, because it sucks being in prison. And this guy, in fact, he did the Christ painting above the Gacy right there. He's a great artist. And again, I couldn't really sell his art. not for the case. I could sell it on the merits of the artwork because it is nice art. But I'm trying to think of somebody who, the cases don't really scare me. I remember I visited one guy and he was so big, and I remember thinking, oh gosh, I sure hope we don't have to fight. And they were like, oh, I'm not a violent person. And I go, except with those two girls. And they were like, oh yeah, that. And I was like, oh, hang on, let's slow down. It just came out though. I was fucking giant. I was like, oh yeah, man, we start fighting, it's gonna be a problem for me. There was just
Well, I mean, I like that when you said that I'm not a violent person, and then you say accept your crimes. It's like they block it out.
Yeah.
It's especially
nobody. Yeah, I say this, but there are people that do want to be that person, and I always think to myself, dude, nobody wants to be that savage killer. I mean, I've met folks that have killed multiple people, and they say they're innocent even though they're overwhelmingly guilty, and they try to portray themselves as this, empathetic, caring person who would never harm people. But it's like, oh yeah, nobody wants to be that way, but they just turn out like that. I don't know, how or why some people turn out that way, but I don't understand why with modern trappings anybody would want to be like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. I get it if we were, if there was no electricity and you needed food and your family was hungry. Well, yeah, man, that's the way love goes, man. Kill or be killed. But to torture people or children, I don't get it. It's man, what's going on, man? Well, I mean, as I try to remind folks, none of it's okay. Whether you're killing adults or children, it's not okay.
No. Either.
But I always, there's just something to be said about people that purposely want to hurt kids. I'm always like, dude, what was missing from your life? Yeah. And I've asked people, how does a person wake up in the morning and then murder a whole family, including a newborn baby that is born in front of you after you rape this woman who's 9 months or 8 months pregnant? How does a person do that? How do you
said it earlier, it takes a village, and I feel like almost every kid out there is, if I see a kid and distressed or whatever, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, I feel like their parent at that moment, right? So you go to protective mode even if they're not your kid or your nephew or whatever, right? So yeah, the thought of to actually hurt a kid in general for whatever reason, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know why somebody would take pleasure from hurting. I mean,
I don't think anyone can ever explain it. There's just something wrong with these people that do that.
Well, I mean, I talked about it with Jablonski, and I remember he was talking about raping kids. Or there was a whole scenario he was going through it, and I was like, Phil, did anybody ever tell you that this wasn't the way it was supposed to be? That this is too much? And he's like, what do you mean? I go, why on earth would you want to do that to a child? And he's like, oh, because it feels good. Why wouldn't I want to do it? And I was just like, fuck, and again, I just could not wrap my head around. I don't see the attraction. It's such a foreign concept to me. And again, this was somebody whose parents, molested him. His father, he grew up, being abused and then becoming an abuser of his sister, and it just, then he began abusing his own children. It's just what happens to people in these cycles of violence, I guess. I just couldn't understand it, and I remember asked Tommy Sells how he went from waking up in the morning to killing a whole family. I wanted to hear it, and he broke it all down, and then he's just like, don't ever make me choose between me and you, because you'll lose every time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, gosh, man. Oh, I just don't, don't get me wrong, it's fascinating, and I'm very curious, the what brings people to commit these sort of acts. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not writing books. I just, instead of watching documentaries, I can just go and take me through it. Take me through, when did you first decide you were going to kill? Did you, that first time you killed, did you know today's the day? Or was it like just, it's almost always by circumstance, by the way, just everything falls into place. It's, yeah, I mean, I'm curious, and I just, yeah, man, I don't understand how, I don't know. And again, it's fucking sad, man. I try to explain to people, like, we used to leave visits, especially like with Jablonski, and you would just be like, fuck, and just taking a breath, and I'd go out to the bar, and then I would like get on a conference call with, a couple of collectors, and we'd just all, I would just explain to them what happened in the visit, the things that were said, and I'd break it all down. And, they'd be like, fuck, man, how'd you sit through that? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm trying to decompress by just explaining it all to you, because it would you'd feel almost heavy, not dirty. It just felt like you just had this weight
story,
on
man. It was,
you'd hear this, and it was just savage stuff.
You don't believe in ghosts, but you just took on that energy, right? It's that whatever it's coming from. It's is that what kept you? Is that your longevity of visiting inmates? Getting the story, but you're, like you said, you're not a trained therapist, but it's.
Well, people don't want to be. People don't necessarily want to be shit on. I don't. I remember. There's some folks who know their cases are interesting. Now they won't. The two that I'm thinking of won't admit they're guilty, but they know it, and they definitely play on it, because there are. But again, I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, dude, what on earth made you think that this? What gave you? Because we're in modern times, man. There's electricity, and there's porn and beer and football. Why would you? I just don't see how people, and I think what I've come to kind of understand with people is at our core, we're not necessarily good. Most people, I think, are very, kind of like get mine without worrying. Like, people aren't concerned about the suffering of other people, and certainly not of other living things, and I think I think people are very selfish, and I think people, when you look throughout history, when a certain group gets power over another group, it's never good.
I agree.
You just look at prisons. The Stanford experiment's a great example. They took college kids, made half of them officers and half of them inmates.
Half of them, yeah.
Within like 5 days, they were beating up the damn inmates.
Yep.
And I try to explain to people, imagine these were now real, prisons with, not college kids. Yeah, the kind of horrificness that goes on.
Yeah. People get a bit of power and they turn into monsters.
That's just, but I want to think in my heart that nobody wants to be that way, that nobody could really want that. But the more I get on the internet and see how people interact and what they embrace, it's like, oh yeah, man, this isn't good. We need to, people need to, people need a hug is what it is, man. or maybe, a big punch in the nose. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do, man.
That's where we get started.
No violence.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's like I see, these people just like they just hate. They embody just anger and not.
Yeah.
That's not fun. I don't troll. I don't like to talk shit to people.
Oh yeah, dude, I know people that are. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go on trolling. I'm like, do you get paid for this? Like, I could see if you were getting paid a bunch of money. Yeah. People is like, oh yeah, man, they're bad mouthing you over here. You want to come defend yourself? I'm like, nope, I sure fucking don't. I have no desire to argue with anybody on the internet unless I'm going to get paid to do it. Say whatever you want about it. I don't give a shit. I give it two fucks, man. I really don't care.
Well,
I really don't. I don't pay attention to it. I don't read. No. I'll never look at the comments under this. I don't. The first time I did a national story, I remember I read the comments and there was a couple good ones in there. I thought, yeah, man, I but people were just like trying to, most of them were not people saying I was a cult member or there was tons of people. I bet he's going to vote for Trump, and I was just like, oh man, do I really come across as like some sort of Republican type? Really? No. And it would just
absolutely not.
I would see like one guy once said that I was so like. They're like, yeah, man, say what you want. Bet that guy's getting laid more than all of us. And I was just like, oh, there's some money. And I remember the one comment I liked on this whole stuff was one guy's coming up like, yeah, buddy, that's right.
I like to spread the jokes. It makes it fun. Let's have fun. Let's have some laughs.
Life is too short to be angry, man. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Let's
So I don't like to be angry. I mean, we all get angry. We can't help it.
Oh, yeah,
it's how you release it, there's
it's
a shitty feeling.
Yeah, and there's folks that do fucked up things, and I'm not happy when I hear about people getting robbed or hurt or or being tortured in prisons or being tortured on the streets or any of those sort of things. Like I don't, I try not to dwell on it so much. I try to let people know, hey man, be kind, eat an apple, have a salad, go when you go to the beach, pick up some trash. Donate something to a toy drive for kids, maybe volunteer at the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
If we all just did these little things, even with the jerks and the dicks, the world would be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunately not what happens. And people don't want to do that. Everybody wants to, I don't know.
Well, and these folks that you don't see them out. For one thing, you don't really see them always. At least I don't. I don't see them out in public because there's keyboard commandos, so people hide behind that. There are a lot of good people, and I think even in this community, in the true crime community, a lot of us are very sympathetic. They might think because you're writing to an inmate that you're interested because you have your own anger issues. No, it's a lot of us are some of the calmest, nicest people that you could meet.
Right. Well, I mean, I've also met a lot of folks that they get mad when. What you told that inmate? I'm not a woman. And I'm like, well, yeah, dude. They asked me in person if I knew who you were. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I know who you are. What do you want me to lie for you? I'm not gonna lie for you. You're if you have to lie to get stuff. I mean, come on, man. I said, cool. Don't tell me if that's your game, dude. Because I'm not going to lie to cover for you because so if I'm going to visit an inmate and they say, hey, do you know Bob, and if I say no, what if they called Bob the day before the visit and then they're like, oh yeah, well I just called him, he said he knows you, he says he's a collector that he buys from you, and I'm like, oh shit, now I'm caught in a lie for somebody who I wouldn't have had to. Yeah, because they obviously told the inmate they knew me, but there's plenty of folks that will just lie to inmates and to get stuff. And I get it. We all want to get stuff. Man, I'm a dude, and I get stuff from inmates all the time. I've never once written one as a girl. Ever. I mean, you don't have to do that to get stuff. You can just be yourself. And even inmates that have aversions to collectors, you can just don't do that. So I mean, while I get what you're saying, I've met some really cool cats who collect crime stuff. I know some guys who've hired attorneys for inmates that they believe are innocent. I know folks that really do care, that do this for the quote unquote right reasons. But I've also met some real shitbags, man, that just view this as inmates as a commodity to make money, and that kind of sucks.
No, that sucks a lot.
But I warn inmates. I'm like, look, man, there's a paparazzi out there. And those are the collectors that are going to, and that's just part of the game, and I don't I've never made a list of collectors and sent it into a prison. I remember, oh gosh, man, this one collector duped Eric Holler. He made a list and said that, or had an inmate write to Eric Holler and say, oh yeah, man, Harder said, and had this whole list of collectors on it, So Eric Holler went ape shit on me and screaming and yelling, and that guy's a piece of shit and this and that. And I was just like, dude, I've never written that inmate. I don't know what you're talking about. And it was this other collector that just, and he later on in life figured it out that he was duped by this other collector. But it's like, I would never do that. I would never just write a letter and say, oh yeah, by the way, there's this, this person. But if somebody asks, I always tell people, yeah, dude, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
If you don't want people to know that you're a shitbag who's lying and trying to dupe people, then just don't tell me, man. Because I'm not going to try to remember who we're lying to this week, because that's not in my nature.
Either they're going to write you back or they're not. That's how it is. You can try again. Just don't fake it. You can there's some I've written 2-4 times.
And if they don't write you back, man, maybe you need to get a different hobby. Maybe you should start collecting baseball cards, or go to collect those porcelain cows. We were
who's playing these days? I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something else. Find something else, man. Maybe this isn't your thing. If nobody writes you back, maybe you are one of the douchebags we're
talking about. Yeah, you're just a boring person. No one wants to talk to you.
I should stop writing recipes to them. I can't get these ingredients. What the fuck are you writing this to me for?
You got to improvise. You should try, using very, basic stuff that you can get in prison. I mean, I think you can look at what they can order, and you can use those things to make.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, you could cook a ramen noodle, a bunch of different ways, man. You could put peanut butter in it and honey and all kinds of good stuff.
In a perfect world, I wish I could send them cookies. We all know what we can, obviously, but wouldn't it be great if you could send them baked goods?
Yeah.
It's not going to be pot brownies or anything like that. It's just going to be regular cookies, a bread. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one inmate explained to me they used to buy the ice cream, and they would dig the ice cream out of the ice cream sandwich and put it in a root beer and make root beer floats. And I was like, fucking genius. I never thought to, make a root beer float, which doesn't seem like much. But yeah, man, when you're in the clink, dude, that's treat.
Gold. That's good stuff.
It's fun to, little things that you can do to make it make it interesting. I've never made cookies. I'm trying to think what's the most unique food thing. I know in San Diego they have a restaurant you can just order meals and they'll come out. I remember they had this really nice hummus plate. It was expensive, but I mean it was like real hummus and with real condiments and everything. It was like a really cool thing. And Roy Norris did not like the hummus. He wanted a turkey leg, I think.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like buying meat for folks, but in prison, I tell everybody, if you get out of prison, I'll take you to a steakhouse and we'll have a steak dinner. After the one steak dinner, that's it. I don't buy meat for people. So, you want to buy meat, you have to buy your own. In fact, I just went and saw a friend of mine. He did 17 years in prison. I took him out, but he'd already been released. He was already paroled. And so I said, hey man, we're going to go to this, vegan place. And that's what he had to settle for. Cause I don't like, but when they're in prison, I'll buy them whatever the canteen has to offer. I have visited a handful of vegetarian inmates though. So whenever I'm with those guys, it's like, oh yeah, man, the same plight, the struggle of not having anything to eat in the vending machine. And they're like, yeah, I can't eat any of this junk either. And it's like, yeah, man, it sucks.
It's like going to a big venue concert. So you go in there, it's like an $8 soda pop and $20 frozen hamburgers, the big AZ or whatever.
The hamburgers are usually anywhere from $5 to $6.50. Sodas are usually about $2 for a 12-ounce can of soda. Sometimes they're $2.50, sometimes they're $1.75. And that's the other. There's no consistency, and you've got to remember to check the price of every single thing because, you'll have the sodas lined up, and one soda will be $1.25 because they programmed it wrong. I remember I was buying ice cream just the other day in San Quentin, and the price of one of the ice cream bars, the Snickers bars, was it's supposed to be $3, and these were, I think, $1.50 or $1.75. So I was like, ugh, and I bought that whole row out just so I could, and I actually gave a bunch of them to the porters.
Yeah.
Just because it sucks because the porters don't they don't get visits, and that's why they sign up to work at the. So I try to always buy something for those guys because it sucks.
So porter's an inmate, and
yeah, the porters that work in the visiting room.
Okay.
So whenever there's a person in there, I'll buy them. I'll try to buy them something to eat. I used to have to sneak it to them because they weren't allowed to take gifts because you could be that inmate could be pressuring your visitor to tell me to have to buy stuff for them.
Right.
So, but now the way the California model, if somebody wants to buy something for one of the inmate workers, you're allowed to. They've changed that rule, so I don't have to be, sneaky about it. Sometimes when death row was in the cages, I would actually buy food for guys whose visitors didn't show up. I don't even have to know them. If I just saw a person, I'd say, "Hey man, where's your visitor at?" And they say, "I don't think they're going to make it." I'd go buy something real quick and slide it under the door for them, just because that really sucks.
Yeah,
And I've been fortunate enough that it's it's $5, whatever. Who cares, man? It means so much more to. Again, it's that little bit of kindness, man. Try being kind. Be kind, man. It's such a novel thing, but fuck, man. Don't get me wrong. If somebody is blatantly disrespecting you, yeah, man, punch them in the nose too. But try your best to avoid it if you can. And if somebody's being rude, maybe keep in mind that maybe their dog died today, or their wife's fucking their best friend. Or people are gonna have bad days. So, but yeah, sometimes a punch in the nose is all you can do. But you can try to be kind too.
It works, and this is what you don't hear except for when you're talking with maybe other podcasters that are sympathetic to the situation. But when you're on the news, here's a man that collects all these, and he visits people in prison, buying them hamburgers and ice cream.
Oh, they never want to talk about that.
Right.
They never talk about, going with families to executions and holding them, and then, all the processing that happens, how tough of a day those are. They don't want to talk about, sitting in hospice, holding an inmate's hand and, trying to, give them a peaceful transition out of life. They don't want to talk about that. I remember there was a woman was visiting her son. I forget whose birthday it was, if it was the son's or the mom's, but she had to be like 90 years old. And he's not allowed to touch the money, so he couldn't work the vending machine. And I watched her trying so hard to make it work. And I was this was in a common room, visiting room. And I said to my visitor, I said, "Hey man, let me go help them real quick." And I did, and I helped them a second time. And when we were getting up to leave, the visits were over for that day. That woman came up to me, gave me this big hug, and saying such in Spanish about God blessing me. And I tried to actually buy them a cheesecake, and she was like, "Oh no!" And he was like, "Don't buy anything for us." And I was like, "No, man, come here." She's saying to buy something for yourself. I was like, "No, here you go, man. It's your birthday or whoever's birthday." I was like trying to buy them extra stuff, and my friend called me a couple days later. He's like, "Dude, man, that guy comes by my cell every morning asking me if I want coffee now. This has been going on for a week." And
that's cool.
But it's like I didn't have a visiting token, a photo token the other day visiting a fella, and I forgot to buy it, man. Oh, rookie move. And so I had to ask somebody if I could borrow one from him. And this guy said, "You know what? Here," and he went up to the podium where the officers were, and he's like, "I'd like to give one of my tokens to him." And I remember giving him some money. They were $2 each. I gave him $4. This guy was there with his wife and her 2 kids to visit his brother-in-law. I looked at the kids, I sized up their ages, and I went and bought birthday cards for kids that age, and I sent them to I said, "Bring those to that guy." And he's like, what a genius idea. And the guy was like, "Oh man, tell your friend thank you so much. These will be perfect." Because you can't get birthday cards for kids. Yeah. So yeah, of course, they never want to talk about that either. They just want to talk, "Oh, he's the memorabilia dealer. He's not a Christian. And we have to hate everybody." And that's just the attitude of prison. It's changing in California, though. It really is. And
seems to.
Hopefully the rest of the country will try to follow suit. But I mean, there's just some states where, it's funny, man, the states that are the most Christian tend to be the most hateful to their inmate and populations. Like, I'll never understand. Aren't you supposed to be, didn't Jesus say to remember the imprisoned? You know, isn't that he wasn't talking about people who hurt women and children. No, man. In fact, there's no sin that's greater than the other. You just thinking about hurting these men because you feel they deserve it is a sin the same as it is what brought them to prison. Again, I don't get it. I don't understand how somebody who believes that they'll be judged for their actions just excuses. Like, I know people who tell me I'm going to hell, but they get drunk every day, and I'm just like, you think your God must be a real sucker if I'm going to go to hell and you're going to heaven. Like, I mean, I don't drink, I don't do any drugs. In fact, I try to encourage everybody I come into contact with not to start using drugs because they're the horrific things that follow drug addiction. And it's, but again, I'm going to go to hell. And these people who live, that never volunteer with the homeless, who never, I mean, they're Christian in name only.
Yeah.
They just, I'm a Christian. And I'm like, and I've asked them, what church do you go to? Well, I don't go to church. I'm like, what on earth makes you a Christian? Well, I'm saved. I go, you're saved, but your faith without works, man, it's dead. You're not doing, do you even pray with another person? No. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I mean, I'm not going to go to hell because I'm like, what are you, okay, man.
This gives them the license to judge, essentially.
Oh, yeah, man. I always have to, Romans 2nd chapter, you need to reread that, you judgmental bastard.
I enjoy just meeting people, getting to know them. I don't, I have no agenda. Now, is it Texas? Was that a state that you had issues with?
Oh, yeah, man. They're one of the, I mean, those officers are the ones I dealt with in Texas are some of the worst human beings I've ever had to deal with. They torture inmates routinely. They are very cruel in visiting. Like, I remember we were going to visit an inmate and we needed to get more money because you can only bring in so much money. So I asked this officer, I said, hey, I'm going to stay here and pull out my visitor. My wife's going to go to the car and then come back. Is that okay? And she's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. So my wife goes out to the car, comes back in, and she goes, oh, you have to leave. You're not allowed to join his visit. I said, what do you mean? I just asked you. She goes, oh, I checked. It's against the rules. I go, yeah, but you just told us it'd be fine. She goes, yeah, but I've checked. You have to leave. And I'm like, I can't. And I was like, no, man, get the sergeant down here. My visitor's like, just let it go. Dude, you're not going to win with that woman. And he was like, she is a horrible woman. You need to stop now and just we'll take your chips and we'll figure it out,
she's going to
tomorrow.
Beat me later,
and
man,
I was
please.
just like, why would you be so, like, it was her job to try to ruin my day. And she's just an ugly person.
She did it on purpose. She told you.
No, she did.
She didn't have to check. She
knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah.
And I did. There was a couple of gals there that were nice enough, man. But again, they're, it's like, I'm sure there were people that drove the trains to Auschwitz that were nice,
Yeah.
So I mean, I told, they would say something, I'm not killing these men. I go, yeah, but you're part of the machine that does. Well, I don't, I'm not, I don't have any, any say in that. I said, yeah, man, but the guy that drove the train to Auschwitz, he didn't necessarily have any say, but he chose to drive the train. Mm-hmm. So you could sit here and try to tell me that you're taking no part, but you are taking part of it. You are part of the machine that murders people.
You can send me out the back way, right? You can say, I'm kind of going to disappear and get out of here. Yeah.
Well, you could get a job doing something else. I mean, just don't whitewash it. Don't say, well, I don't believe in this. It's like, yeah, man, you're part of it. You are part of the, that whole process of killing people. And the brass there, they didn't like me because I was non-Christian. I always came with, pretty women. And these guys were probably married to unattractive women. So I could see why they would hate me. And they all believed in God. They believed in the hate-filled, white supremacy Christian God, which sucks. But what can you do?
Don't go to Texas.
Yeah, man, that's a horrible place, dude. They yeah, man, I remember going, I went and saw this guy, and yeah, man, he was, trying to get extra attention, but dude, like, they broke all his fingers. And I remember, like, he said they extracted him and began just breaking his fingers one by one. And the warden came down, and he's like, while this was all happening, I'm thinking, He didn't tell him to stop. He's like, to stop? No, man. He was like, why do I keep hearing your name as they were breaking his fingers? I'm like, fuck, man. Why? How can you? And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do. It's a helpless feeling. And I just, this wasn't somebody I knew overly well, but like if it was like my father or my brother, man, I'd be devastated that they were being subjected to this. And I couldn't help but feel that for this person, even though he wasn't really anybody to me, but somebody I wrote letters to and got to know. It was still just knowing that him as a person, to know that this was a kind of, I mean, yeah, he was, blowing darts out of his cell and, he ended up darting a person, a contractor that came in, and they were going to sue the prison, and they did sue, and it was a big mess. But, he did that. He got some attention from the staff, which is in part what I guess he wanted, but you still don't get to, it's not your job to torture people. That's not what you get to do. In fact, it's against, not only is it against the law, it's against the oath that you swore to uphold. And that their oaths don't mean shit to them. It's very dangerous. They're, Texas is not the place you want to be. I mean, they literally have to force people to be born there.
The force to be born there.
Yeah, I mean, they banned abortion because nobody in their right mind would want to have a family in Texas.
Been through there twice, and it was interesting. Eastern Texas is a lot better, but you're getting closer, kind of more southeast. Folks live.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Houston seemed like a metropolitan area. I remember when I was on what's 6th Street in Austin? It reminded me of State Street, Santa Barbara. College kids everywhere, But yeah, man, you're in Texas.
Yeah.
You get a little bit out of town. The American flags make way for the Confederate ones, and you just get into those communities that are just, yeah, man, not the most forward thinking.
No offense.
And that's not to say that you can't, be in Texas and be a good person. I mean, I know there's plenty of good folks in Texas, and there's probably some good folks that have little Confederate flags on their trucks that aren't the worst people on the planet. Which again there are people that have a heritage or a family thing or whatever, and they want to embrace that sort of thing. Hey, I mean, that doesn't automatically make you a bad person. What makes you a bad person is how you treat other people. And I think a lot of the people in Texas, just with the lack of education and the amount of, Christian bigotry that's just so prevalent there, it's not where I want to be.
Not even to visit.
Doesn't sound like any place I want to be either.
No, nope. Oh goodness gracious, no! I always tell people, look, you skip the Alamo, man. It's not worth it. You want to go to a city, man. I mean. Yeah, I mean, Arkansas is another one, and Louisiana, I just would never.
That's crazy. I've been through there twice. I mean, it's small, obviously, but it's different.
There's a lot of stuff I want to see in Alabama, like a lot of historical civil rights stuff. Yeah. Like I really want to see it, but and I really want to go to see Brewery on the 16th and there, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. Brewery is one of my favorite death metal bands, and fuck, man, I want to see him, and I'm going to be close, but just not close enough. I've got other things planned for the day they're coming. So,
well, like tonight, you missed out on Green Jello.
Green Jello, man. Yeah, I miss Green Jello tonight. And Max Sabbath is playing tomorrow in Sacramento, but my nephew's like, I don't want to see that. He just wants to play. Oh, I don't know. He doesn't really. I took him to see Cattle Decapitation. He did a bunch of crowd surfing and loved it. And he's going to see Cattle later this year in December. He's excited about that. But I mean, Cattle's high energy. It's a big production.
Yeah.
I couldn't find like a Max Sabbath show that had big production. Like it didn't grab him.
Really? I mean,
plus I've got really good balcony front row, so like you just look down and the floors, it's bells and whistles. Everything is paid for. There'll be all the food we can eat. There'd be technically all the drinks we could drink if we drank alcohol, but we don't. But it's going to be and I'm bringing a nephew. It's going to be his first metal experience, so he's probably going to want to get down and do some crowd surfing and stuff too. And I've got to be careful. These are littles; they're 10 and 11, so I got to make sure they don't get hurt, so their parents don't get mad.
Bubble wrap, lots of bubble wrap.
Well, the band's. I mean, I'm taking all the meet and greets, beforehand. So the band will see him, and they'll get, So when they see him coming, the band, Travis Ryan will grab them. You make sure they don't get hurt. It becomes and everybody kind of gets excited because it's kids, man. And they're there to have good, and they have. I've never seen anybody try to hurt kids at a metal show. I mean, I've seen guys with their kids in the pit, like I was at a dark funeral show, man, and cattle decapitation. This guy had his she must have been 4, a little, and he's like going through the pit with her on her, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, dude, no, never. I mean, throwing him up is bad enough, man. I'm feeling a little bit nervous, that they're gonna get, but he was like, I'm thinking, dude, if you fell, I guess because if you're not, this guy was pretty fit, and he wasn't. If you're not wasted, I suppose it's easy. But there's drunk people in pits. But everybody was high-fiving this kid, and they was having she was having a blast. Yeah. But it's still, I don't know if I'd go that far. Throwing them up, I can, because these are boys, they're tough enough. They're ready.
Yeah.
And my nephew's looking forward to that. But no, I don't think we're gonna get Max Sabbath in tomorrow either.
Man.
We're going to go to Santa Cruz, though. We're going to go over to Santa Cruz on Sunday, I think, and make the rounds there and do all the roller coaster rides. And there's a bunch of, there's a whole bunch of crime stuff there in Santa Cruz. A rich crime history with, Edmund Kemper and David Carpenter and Herbert Mullen. Santa Cruz was the murder capital of California. I think it was in 1973.
Santa Cruz.
It was when Mullen. It was when Mullen and Kemper were active.
Oh yeah, yep.
High kill counts.
Filmed Lost Boys. Was that filmed out there, or was it?
Yeah. Lost Boys. Us was filmed there. Us was so good. I really liked that movie. But yeah, Lost Boys was also filmed. Filmed there.
What band have you seen the most?
I've seen the Mentors more than any other band on planet Earth. And when I say I've seen them more than any other band, I've probably seen them. Oh man, I've probably seen the Mentors anywhere from 3 to 10 or 15 times a year, and I've been doing that for years. The first time I saw them was in '94. And it's just escalated from that point. I've probably seen them 50 or 60 times.
That's
somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's
a lot. It's a whole lot. I mean, I've seen Ghost, I think 14 times. I've seen them quite a bit. I've seen Brujeria, probably 9 or 10. I mean, there was in 2023, I saw them 5 times, and I saw Cattle Decapitation 5 times that year as well. What's funny then is in 2024, I only saw Cattle and Brujeria once each, and it looks like I'm probably going to see Brujeria. I know for sure once, maybe twice, and I know I'm going to see Cattle twice, maybe 3 times. So we've got some, I just love going. I love going to shows. I just saw Squid Pisser not that long ago, and that's like extreme. It's a grindcore, but it's like chaotic. It's like very noise based, like power violence, like The Locust. The Locust meets early Brujeria combination. It's good stuff. I love it.
That's cool. I feel like I'm retired from bands, but I'll live through you. I haven't not seen. I thought I've seen a lot. No, in pale in comparison, I've seen quite a few.
So I didn't have kids, man, and that was a big part of it. My wife and I, for a number of reasons, chose not to replicate, and that freed up a lot of resources, both time and financial.
Yeah,
and without those, I mean, while sometimes we feel like, oh, we would have been good parents, and we would have, we'd probably be speaking another language because we would have hired language tutors, and we'd have sat in those damn classes that whoever we hired, so we would learn to speak whatever the languages were that we were going to teach our child. And then we think, oh yeah, man, but we wouldn't have had, yeah, man, there's a lot that we wouldn't have got to do. Like, we've had, this house has had, just people running around naked, like a bunch of them. So we wouldn't have been able to do any of that sort of nonsense. It would have been a different life. And yeah, some of a lot of the traveling too, like when I if I'm going to go somewhere, I can go for months at a time. Like if I want to go to Europe, it's always for, a month to 2 months, because why wouldn't I?
Right. Why wouldn't
that's why wouldn't I? My wife does want to go down to Australia. She really wants to see New Zealand. Like, she just loved all the Lord of the Rings, not the movies so much as just she loved the scenery.
Yeah.
It's I love Jurassic Park, so we went to the Kaloa Ranch or whatever it's called, Jurassic Valley, and getting to see all those beautiful landscapes were just great in Hawaii. And she wants to see all the stuff in New Zealand just because it looks so pretty.
There is a lot of nice stuff in New Zealand, all the caves and the scenery.
Yeah, I just, there's so much in Europe. Like, there's so much, and I hate to say it, like, there's so much horribleness. There's so many, so much war and genocide, and there's so many cathedrals that are just, when you see them, I don't know, man. I could just spend. I could be in Vienna I could just probably stay in Vienna for 2 months and not go anywhere else. There's so much to see just in that. God, there's so much in that. There's so much, and there's something for everybody. There's so many. You go to the cemeteries there. Jeez Louise, dude. You're talking like epic world figures. Just. Yeah, man, it was phenomenal. I could spend, and the buildings, like when you're going around, you'll see some of these buildings were made in the 1500s, and people are just in them. They just living in them, and I'm thinking, holy smokes, man, that's just
yeah.
I'll be lucky if this house is still standing. In 100 years, it'll be gone.
Yeah,
this ain't gonna withstand the test of time.
No, they have great architecture.
I'm sorry?
Have you ever been to Paris?
Oh, yeah.
Have you met Nico?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, we've met on several occasions. I stayed with him in 2016.
Yeah.
And the house he was living in was made in 17 something, or it was just, man, it was like this old house, like really, really old, in the same, I think it was either the same town where Aleister Crowley was born, or where he died, or where he lived when he lived in, I forget where. There was some Crowley, I think, tie to wherever we were, not the house specifically, but in that area. But I saw him. The last time I saw him was in 2021. We went to the catacombs and did a whole big catacombs thing, and then we went out to eat. And I was taking all the forks he used.
You take all the that's the collector in you, man.
Yeah, that's the collector.
That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I made him, and he had to buy vegetarian food. I remember the first time we went out, I was like, "Yeah, man. I'll buy whatever you want, man. But I'm just not gonna buy meat."
You had to buy new silverware too, probably.
Oh, dude. The first time I was like taking settings off other tables. And of course, my wife's like, "You're going to get us arrested." I go, "For what?" Here, use these. And he's looking at it. I go, "No, eat. He'd cut and he'd eat." I said, "Okay." I take them, wipe them, throw them in, and I go, "All right, again." And he's like, why do I have to do this? I said, because they have to be used. That's the whole thing.
Right.
And I remember I think it was 3 knives and 2 forks. And I remember I mailed the knife to a girlfriend of mine. She didn't even suck my dick.
No,
she should have. This girl, she's a nice girl too.
Especially for a Nico knife.
Yeah, man, that's what I said. But
come on, it's better than a Valentine's Day card.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. And I still have 2 of them, and I just haven't.
That's
I even had him write some postcards to inmates that I was writing. Oh, and I had that. I had her send a postcard to that girl too, because the Nico case was her favorite case. And yeah, man.
At least he comes through. You know, for this Valentine's Day, I got stiff. There's an infamous I don't want to say their name, obviously. They were supposed to make some Valentine's Day cards for folks if you paid $30. Never got it.
No, I know there was this one gal who was thinking about doing something like that. Can't be burning people, man. You're gonna burn all your bridges.
We got burned, and you know who they are, so we're not gonna say names. But yeah, it was a bummer.
I knew somebody was trying to do that, and yeah, unfortunately, if it's the same gal I'm thinking of, I had to stop writing her.
Yeah,
I can't.
Shame on me though. I trusted. What do you expect?
Yeah, but that's the thing. And if you get God for $30, you know, you learn a valuable lesson and be thankful it wasn't 40. You know,
I wasn't even so mad about the money.
$30 is an easy lesson, man.
It was. I'd really just be honest. Just say I just wanted to fuck you over, and I'd respect that. Really, honestly, you know, just tell me the truth.
Want $30.
I'm not gonna send it to you. I'm like, cool, I get it.
It'd be so easy just to avoid it, though. It's like, come on, man, how hard is it to send out a Valentine's card? I remember Manson was wanting to send Christmas cards for me once, and I was just like, I blew it off, and he ended up calling me. He's like, hey, man, you ain't sent me any Christmas cards yet. And I was like, well, shit. Who am I going to send these cards to? And I sent one to Todd Bohannon. I sent one to a collector in Australia. His name was Nick. Not Nolte. His name was Nick Steffen. Yeah, no. As soon as I said that, I was like, everybody's going to think.
Yeah, I only know the Nolte one. Yeah.
No, it was a guy named Nick Steffen. I had a Christmas card sent to him. And then I had one sent to my niece. I only had, one. I had a bunch of nieces and nephews, I guess, but my sister had one kid, and so I had him send one card to her dad and then one card to my sister for my niece, and I think my sister still has the one I sent, but the dad, I think he lost his. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. I sent out 4. That's all, and that's the only. And again, I kicked myself in the ass for that, man. Fucking blew that, should have had him do 50 cards.
Manson. My dad used to have a sleeping bag from the Manson family and a shovel because he stole it from Barker Ranch because my grandparents claim they helped turn them in when they were setting fire to the construction equipment out there because they had a restaurant out there in Death Valley. And they knew the Barkers. So my dad saw the gold record that Manson gave her to be able to stay out there. And when they were, I don't know if it was the first bus or second bus, but right after, my dad went out there as a kid and shot out the bus and stole some of their goods. He said there was fucking wigs out there everywhere. I think Watson worked at a wig shop, right? So I think they had a lot of wigs. And he goes, yeah, I took a shovel and a sleeping bag. I'm like, you fucking should have kept that, man.
Well, they stole all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, I've found nice things up at Spawn. I remember I found a Masonic ring. It was solid gold, a diamond in it,
Wow.
I mean, that was undoubtedly lifted somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And it was, got bulldozed over and buried in the ground.
Lovely.
So, yeah, man, there was so much stuff back in those days you wouldn't even think. It's like I was just looking at this Gacy painting I have, and it was $71 when it was sold. And that's with everybody getting their taste. Yeah, that's Gacy getting his money. That's the guy who was selling it getting his money. It's like, geez Louise.
Go back to time.
The skull clown. The last skull clown that I know sold for $8,000. It's Jesus. It's
Wow, I'm gonna have to keep making duplicates of it. So I'm gonna get ones and paint my own.
Oh yeah, dude, they're hard to. The Gacy paintings have just escalated to a level of borderlining on unattainium for most folks. It's they're expensive.
Yeah.
I've been real fortunate. I've had a few over the years that I've sold. I mean, I've got, I think, 5 now. Pogo, Skull Clown, Hi Ho in the Winter, Manson, and Christ. Yeah, I got 5. Yeah, not too shabby. More than most.
Yeah,
I'd say
zero.
No,
more than zero.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
You got nowhere to go but up.
That's true.
You're about to get 100% more Gacy paintings. Me, if I get another one, shoot, I've increased my lot by what was it? 20%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you get one, you'll have increased
100%. Yeah.
100%. It's less exciting for me. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Where do you see the future collecting as?
It's a way to look at it, I suppose.
Yeah.
You still get letters? You still pen pal quite a bit?
Every day. Yeah.
Every day?
I do. I've been writing more lately.
You got to do it before it's all electronic. It's all scans.
Oh God, man, what are they doing? They're killing us. They're gonna take away the. Yeah, man, that does suck. Like it's gonna be letter writing to correctional facilities will stop. It will become a thing of the past.
And I'm not a big fan of the GTL shit. It's cool and all, but it's not the same.
It's not personal. It's horrible.
So what's funny is I notice all these. See, I use it all the time because. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like getting letters, but I'm like over that aspect of collecting. Like, I'm not worried about getting letters so much. So when I'm visiting these guys, they're like, "Oh yeah, man, so-and-so told me they can't figure it out." And I'm like, "It's really straightforward." And then it like dawns on me, "Oh yeah, man, they just want letters." They're probably saying they can't figure it out because they just don't want to deal with it. It's like you can do both. And that's what I try to remind folks. I'm like, man, it is easier to get like a quick, exchange and just make sure you remember birthdays. And like, if you send a birthday card, you're probably going to get one back. If you send out your Christmas cards December 5th. So, you'll know you're going to get one back. You just have to be, it's just a way. It's just, if you don't do it and an inmate like is trying to count on you for something, they don't want to depend on writing you a letter. To get what they need. They need to be able to contact you quickly.
All day long.
If you oh yeah, dude, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
There's a couple folks that I deal with who've tried to, branch out, and they just always end up getting fucked over, and they're like, man, I don't know why I stopped writing. And it's like, oh yeah, man, you thought you could do better. And that's a no-no. Well, you were a collector and it weirded me out. And I was like, oh, yeah, you over that shit now? Yeah, good. I'm like, all right, man. There's nothing to get excited about, dude. I've told you, and I'm not going to lie. And the thing is, everybody says that is the problem, and they get fucked over.
Yep.
But I had one inmate who kind of burnt me a little bit. And, over a decade lapse in our talks. And then when we finally reconnected, I was like, yeah, man, I hope you could see that, and we're now that they've gone through the motions and they've dealt with a few collectors, they kind of, in fact, I think you write to this person, Jeff, over, not too far away. And, they're kind of understanding that, man, this is just how it is. And this is part of the game, the collecting. So I'm hoping that there's that this time around they don't have to worry about trying to get over, because you don't have to, man. And a lot of inmates get rubbed so wrong by collectors. It's like, yeah, I get why you would say, oh yeah, a collector that they can't be good. But yeah, man, that's just, don't try to blanket everybody just because that's ignorant, And the thing is, most people are selfish. It's hard to find good folks. But when you find them, I tell people, man, you find a good person, man, you got to latch onto them, because if you meet somebody who's good and he's treating you right, treating you fair, in any walk of, no matter where you're at, you find a good person, man, don't fuck them over, because the good people are so hard to find.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree. I mean, I get excited when I still see that letter, and I think it's got someday. I think I might sell my stuff, and I'm trying to sell artwork for others, just to go towards them. I don't want anything from it. So, but when I get that letter, and we all do that mail scan, so you can see the night before. So I'll wait till like every night's Christmas around midnight to see what mail I'm getting the next day.
What's funny is I don't have that set up yet. I just looked at it and I thought about setting it up. It was actually, I think it was this morning I looked it up. I've never done it. And a friend of mine just got a letter from St. Anthony from Cancer Christ. He's in jail fighting his case. If you don't know who Cancer Christ is, they're a great band. And he was like, dude, and he sent me the scan. The thing showed that he was going to get the letter, and he was super excited about it. So I was like, yeah, man, I got to fucking do this, This is
pretty
just,
cool.
Yeah, I know a couple other folks that do it, and it's man,
it's always accurate though. Sometimes which is kind of fun because like, oh, okay, there's a letter, there's some bills in there. You go check the mailbox, and there's a inmate letter. I'm like, fuck yeah, it's a bonus. I wasn't expecting that. I was already let down, and fucking just popped right in. They don't get everything.
Every once in a while, man, there'll be something that comes and they don't put the slip in. And I'll look in the box and it's not there, and I just eventually I'll hit the tracking number, and it's like been there for 3 days, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that gets nice and frustrating, but fortunately it doesn't happen like that very often. And
are you a PO boxer, or you just go let them come straight to the house?
Oh yeah, I don't. I mean, if an inmate wants to write me at my house, like I don't hide my address from them. Like I'm so at this point, I just don't even care. But I prefer my mail to come to a PO box just because it's more secure.
Yeah,
I used to be afraid of the police or the correctional staff. So that's a bit. I mean, when you start visiting, they have to know your physical address. So there's no. Once that became it's like, well, I can't hide because the only people I'm worried about are the staff.
Have you ever had the FBI scare for any of your contacts?
No.
Yeah.
I've been investigated. I've had search warrants served on like my Facebook, and I remember in like it was 2005. The police came to my house at like 4 a.m. and said there was a kid missing, and we were like, "What do you?" No, we're in bed, and they put their foot in the door and they held up the picture, and I don't know why they came to our house. But I always thought, like, yeah, dude, because they didn't go to anybody else's. So I think we were on some sort of a list because, we were the only house they came to, and we had no idea what they were talking about.
That's the paranoia. Do you think that? I mean, if you write quite frequently, they probably know this. If you're maybe writing to school shooters,
school shooters, terrorists, you're really going to get on the old. I wrote to a local guy who had killed a child in our general area, and I think there's a chance that this person's innocent. So I think that they might have sent the letter to their attorney and said, "Hey, the killer's taunting me," and I think that might have been how my name got in the mouths of the police. I mean, I don't know for sure. I mean, it's all, but I know they didn't go to anybody else's house. So there was definitely, for some reason, and I know for sure one time they did get a search warrant to go through my Facebook to try to make stuff up. They made stuff up to get the search warrant and then hoped they would catch me doing something illegal. But yeah, dude, I don't do anything illegal aside from speeding.
I think we're all guilty of that sometimes.
I don't break the law. I mean, I don't talk to underage girls. I don't sell drugs. I don't buy drugs. There was nothing in my Facebook Messenger that nothing. Because I mean, again, I don't commit crimes, and they were very disappointed.
Yeah, probably cleaner than most. Yeah, but they were.
Oh yeah, man. I would, not that I'm doing anything illegal, but I would certainly try. I try not to break the law because it just makes problems and there's just certain. I mean, I don't commit crimes. Like I just don't. I don't speeding, man. I speed a lot.
Yeah, I think the only crime that I think that you could be guilty of is you never did share that Dr. Oz episode. I can't find it either, man. It's like it disappeared.
I mean, it was on their Facebook. Like if you scroll through Dr. Oz's Facebook, there was on there for a minute. But outside of that, I don't know. There was no way to. I had it on my TV. I should have just recorded it because it deleted out of my DVR after a year, and I was like, oh, well, that's that. Or actually, you know what? I think it. I was out of town, and somebody else recorded it for me, and then they deleted it without me getting a chance to. I was going to try to just set my camera as best I could. to record it.
I think was that a pretty fun experience, or what you expect?
Dr. Oz was very kind to me, very polite. He seemed very fair. It was very objective. It wasn't nothing like Anderson Cooper or Jesperson's daughter, who's man. The apple didn't fall far from the tree, man.
Really?
What a dishonest person. Yeah, she's not.
Wow.
Never again, man. They wanted to do a follow-up thing, and I was like, yeah, man, here's where I tell you guys to go. Here's where I tell you to go fuck yourself. Why would you say that? I said, yeah, because you were the most dishonest bunch of people I've ever dealt with. And you lied to me, and I'm not okay with that, so kick rocks.
Crazy. And
my dog does that.
Oh, yeah.
Attention. I want attention.
Oh, yeah, man.
They want cuddles, or they're telling you it's bedtime.
Getting close to their... They have a collapsed trachea because of us. They had during their last teeth brushing session, the little trachea collapsed. So he coughs until I give him he has to take basically Vicodin. He has to take hydrocodone. It's a cough suppressant. Opiates naturally are. So he gets a hydrocodone in the morning and a hydrocodone at night, and it's getting close to his hydrocodone time. So he'll start to cough extra. Because he knows that's what gets his what's TREATS is yes.
Yeah.
So he's getting that little excited, like, oh, come on.
Well, it's time to take the meds. I know we've taken 2 hours of your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
No problem. I was I got to go do something with this kid. He's back there playing his games, but he's probably going to want something to eat, and it's getting late to cook. I'm going to take him out for some, like a burrito or something. And then I got to figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do with this kid. I don't want to see green jello. So we got to, the kids today, man, they just get in these games and that's all they want to do is play.
Fortnite, man. All it is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the last time I saw him playing, he was like riding a dirt bike. And then he was doing the bodysuit, like gliding around. And I was like, man, he's like, I want to do this. And I'm like, have you ever seen somebody crash doing this? And he's like, no. And I just pulled it up on YouTube.
Google it all.
A whole series of bodysuit, gliding suit crash. And he was like, oh, I was like, yeah, man, you don't want to do this at all, man. That's the thing I'll never know. I'll never know if I'm going to be good at, the bodysuit or skydiving. I remember we were getting ready to do parasailing. And I'm just pacing, stressed out. And, my wife's teasing me like, oh, you're such a pussy. And I was like, I don't think you understand how high 800 feet is. And, oh, yeah, man, they started putting the belts on us. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. And I was like, yeah, man. And up we went, dude. My wife said, they quit shaking us. And I'm like, I'm not shaking us at all. The wind rocks you. And, oh, yeah, and that was the end of her desire to skydive because I already knew better. Yeah, kids wanting to do these funny things, watching these games. It's I'm glad I missed that boat. Maybe it would be fun, but I'll never know.
Nah, I'm okay.
So, I'm glad we just. Oh, yes, I know. Settle down. We're gonna go soon. Yes, I know.
So, Dad, make the people stop talking. We gotta go now. You said burritos.
Yeah, man. I want to get
treaties.
I want to get a pig so bad, but they're just. I travel too much, man. It's almost hard enough to have this little guy, and a pig would just be that much harder to have watched. They never stay small. There's no such thing as a micro pig.
No.
The smallest ones get about you can starve them and keep them small, but I would never do that. No. So it's like you have to have like a 40-pound.
We
pig.
had a pig once.
Get a potbelly pig.
We were breeding it to eat. Not for a pet.
Oh, yeah. They're the fifth smartest animal on the planet. I don't understand.
I don't know. My daughter came out covered in vomit because she was like little. She was like 4 or 5, covered in vomit, and the pig smelt that and just went, "Oh, delicious!"
Oh no!
Yeah, man. Beeline to go and try to eat my daughter.
They're so smart, and they're.
Thanks.
People get like, oh, my cat. And I'm like, yeah, dude, your cat's dumb. And your cat doesn't even belong in North America. Like, they're invasive. They're like one of the worst animals in North America. They're destroying so much natural wildlife, and people throw them outside left and right. And, I'm not going to sit here and say that we need to, like, eradicate cats. But, when the eradication shoe fits, they just have to go, man. They're a terrible pestilence. they kill my ducks. I'm a duck guy, and they
Oh,
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like in the Everglades. They got these iguanas and these pythons just destroying everything. They gotta go, man. We gotta get the cats, and people need to take better care of these animals because they don't belong in the wild. But I want a pig, and the problem with pigs is they just get too big and they're too smart, and I wouldn't want to leave a pig with somebody. I'm always afraid when I leave my dog with I leave with my parents. So it's with somebody they trust or somebody that I trust, but it's still, I would just hate for somebody to, I just don't, I feel I take the best care of my pets. Probably like your kids.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You don't want to leave your kids with people. I don't want to leave nobody. Oh, I know. Well, I'm not going to leave you with just anybody. No, I wouldn't do that. And my parents are getting too old, and my dad doesn't. He's like, I'm not watching pigs, so that took care of the pig thing. I say if I get older, if I break my back or something, I'm going to get like a big bird, and I'll probably have a backyard full. So I won't go anywhere. If I break, I probably will. But I mean, if my mobility gets compromised
or something, a raven.
They're pretty smart too. They've got problem-solving intelligence. Like pigs can be taught to play games. Mm-hmm. They play video games to get treats. It's amazing.
That's cool.
Google pigs video games into YouTube. It's wild. They're super smart, and we routinely put them in cages they can't even turn around in, and that's so we can all have our riblet sandwiches, and again, that indifference to suffering. Everybody, I always say, compassion ends at dinner time.
You always make meat sound so unsexy. You kill it for me, man.
It's cruel, man. I don't know. I mean, I get it. It tastes good, but to me, it's just not worth putting something through that. So I'll just eat a salad. I'll make a smoothie.
Yeah. I think once if you experience seeing that happen, slaughter of an animal, it can really change it perspective on it.
I mean, I just know. I remember I saw a dairy farm video with Star Manson. She showed it to me. This was in August of 2008, and I remember being so affected by it, and just feeling incredible sadness for the way the animals, were being treated. Yeah. But I didn't want to be a part of it. Like, I don't want to actively do that to anything. And it's also just not healthy. Dude, there's nothing natural about eating or, consuming milk. There's nothing, you can cook, I guess, beef to eat it, but it's, man, you have to go through all these changes to make it edible, eat crickets or fish or bamboo, or if you need protein, there's a million broccoli. You don't need to.
Crickets are actually pretty good.
Yeah, man. And you can eat them and digest them, and it requires no cooking. Same with fish.
Yeah.
Like, pork, you if you don't cook it right, you'll die. It's not meant for you to eat. It's not meant for human consumption. And people will argue, well, that's why God put them here. And I'm like, well, no, God made you vegan. Pretty much all the religions have that, central theme of there was no death in the beginning, whether you're Jewish or Muslim or Christian. They were, they all started out as vegans, and then death came. And then depending what sect you are, for Judeo-Christianity, it's the flood. That's when people got permission to eat the flesh of the beast.
Mm. No choice at that point.
Well, I mean,
as much. I mean, what else was there?
Well, but there wasn't really a flood. It's just, they just had people wanting to eat meat, so they came up with this kosher thing.
Pseudo flood.
Yeah. And maybe there was, maybe there was a flood, and that's when it all came to be. Who knows?
It went down the street. It was small. It was a road length flood, and they said, "Fuck it, we're eating the animals. There's water going down the street. I can't eat."
It was the river.
It's the river. Yeah, there's the lack of vegetation, but people don't know that. They'll argue that God put him here for us to eat, and I'm like, no. Where does it say that in Genesis? It's not there. It
says on McDonald's menu. It's probably where they're reading from.
Oh gosh, man, I don't. Have a salad, both of you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nope. I'll have
you don't like
bacon.
salad? Not even some blue cheese?
Eat salad. No,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Have a salad.
Oh,
Salads are good.
no, I'll eat a fruit salad. How's that?
That's even
There
worse.
you go. Yeah,
Worse.
I'm probably gonna make myself a fruit smoothie, and then I'm gonna take my nephew probably out to get a burrito of some kind, or
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what? I don't know what he'll want, but I'll have to get him something. So, as much as I want to keep chatting, I've got to take this one and get him his little treat.
It just means I need to come back again. You've enjoyed yourself so much, and we've loved having you on. Been great.
Yeah, next time we can, if you try to theme it a little bit better, I can like have a little pile of stuff to show and tell with and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right. This is Jeff with the new show. It's new every month, so that's where we're at.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And who are you? You always forget
who are we pointing to?
I'm William Harder.
Yeah.
And I'm Sharon.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.